Artifacts. It always comes back to them, right? The most common question I get asked all the time is what artifact should I be going for? Either it's, oh, MK, I just got 400 glorious relics. What artifact should I pick up? Or it's, oh, I just got myself a mysterious chest. What should I choose? Artifacts are the most frustrating thing in this game, simply because they're the most expensive thing that people frequently get their hands on. Some of you might not realize that artifacts can go for as much as 100 to 150 bucks, and people are willing to spend to get them. And that is because artifacts make or break the progress on your account. However, if you didn't know, not every artifact is as strong as each other. There are certain ones that play into particular playstyles and are going to suit your heroes more than others. And it is being smart with your artifact selections which is crucial to having good, forward-thinking progress on your account. By forward thinking, what I mean is understanding what an artifact is going to mean for you in the long run, rather than just picking up an artifact because it's good on your Garuda, which is just a really frequent thing people ask me, by the way. You want to pick up artifacts that are going to work for you in the long run. So let's go take a look at all the artifacts in the game, discuss them, and actually talk about which ones are going to be good for you. And that's what matters. What artifact choices should you be making? So to be clear, when I'm talking about artifacts in this video, I'm on about mysterious artifacts. These are artifacts that can be upgraded in the Almost Workshop. I also want to be clear, I'm not on about flags. Flags are cool and all, and they make your tenants more powerful, but they aren't the things that matter when it comes to mysterious artifact selection chests or relics. Mainly because the big things you're spending your relics on and your artifact chests are these guys, not flags. So let's go ahead and talk about them. First of all, let's get familiar with them. We've got Demon Bell, we've got Antlers Cane, we've got Punisher of Immortal, we have Magic Stone Sword, Augustus Magic Ball, Kiss of Ghost, Lucky Candy Bar, Wildfire Torch, Golden Crown, Rui Scepter, Snowheart, and Melodic Strings. That's a lot of them, so how the heck do you know which one's good? Well, we can break them down into three categories. There's defensive artifacts. These are ones that are going to keep your heroes alive and allow them to be much more tanky and sustain-based heroes. There's going to be aggressive artifacts. These will help you to deal more damage and take down bosses quicker. And there will be utility artifacts. These will be ones that either feed you energy or do particular things that otherwise are unique when it comes to artifacts. Basically, the one thing you want to know is which artifact should you be choosing? Which one's going to be the most useful? And unfortunately, they're all kind of good at their own little special things. Generally speaking, though, one artifact is more efficient than all of the other ones, and that happens to be the Golden Crown, mainly because the main thing about upgrading a Golden Crown is it offers all damage reduction at a much deeper level, which then diminishes as rounds go on. However, a base form Golden Crown, so just one, not needing other copies to upgrade it, just a singular Golden Crown, still offers a good amount of attack, a good amount of HP, and it gives you that 25% all damage reduction. Immediately, on a hero, this is going to improve their performance. It's going to make them much more defensive and stay alive longer, which gives them a better chance of doing what you want them to do. Is it going to improve their damage output? Not a lot, it's only 18% attack, so it's not going to turn someone into an incredible damage dealer, but it is going to keep them alive. And this is very important as an artifact because you can do a lot with an upgraded Eloise with just Golden Crown. And that's important to know, because for people that are looking to spend as little money as possible, you can do far worse than get a Golden Crown and stick it on an Eloise. Eloise is the most powerful non-transcendent hero in the game. She is incredibly effective at what she does, and she's just in the Shadow faction. I call her a pseudo-transcendence hero for how useful she is, and early and mid-game players should be putting everything into their Eloise because she is so efficient, because she only needs a Golden Crown to do well. So if you find yourself as an early player in a situation of what artifact should I pick up because I've saved my first 400 relics, or you've saved up your first mysterious artifact selection chest that you got from an event, the answer, in my humble opinion, is going to be go for the Golden Crown. For the one simple reason. Golden Crown is incredible on Eloise, and if you don't have an Eloise on your account, go and get one. Because trust, Eloise will transform your performance, and you don't need Transcendence heroes for her to do well. So, I know it sounds like a very linear way to play the game, but this video is about efficient choices, and Eloise plus a Golden Crown is as efficient as it gets. After that point, you'll probably be thinking, should I go and get myself some more golden crowns like I've got here, right? I've got myself an upgraded one, and I've got 3 baby ones. What I can do with this is go along to the Almost workshop, and then I can use this to upgrade this golden crown. So I could put that in here, I can then put in my other copies, I can upgrade, and then forge, and get myself some stuff. Obviously, I'm going to need materials for that, so just give me one moment to just regress this Punisher of Immortal to show you how that works. So you go to the Artifact Forge, you get your upgraded crown, you then put in your unupgraded crown, you go forge, and ta-da, just like that, it became glittery. Let's go ahead to stage 2 now, and we're going to go and put in our glittery crown. We're then going to add another copy of crown, and it magically becomes radiant. Nice and simple. And then we get to stage 3. This is splendid. This is the highest form an artifact can get up to. You have to use a radiant and 1 more copy. And you might be thinking, flipping heck, MK, where am I supposed to get 4 golden crowns from? Great question. It's expensive. It requires relics, it requires chests, and the only way I would feel comfortable suggesting that you get more crowns is if you are given specifically a golden crown away in an event. It happens. Sometimes DH Games say, here you go, here is a crown. Not a chest, not relics, but a crown. And that's good. However, you might find yourself in a situation where you have a chest, and you think, do I want to get another crown and make my crown glittery, or is there a better choice? So this is the next thing you need to think about. What other artifacts are going to be beneficial? Well, crown is a defensive artifact, so one argument could be to go and get yourself a damage-dealing artifact. Now, options include the Punisher of Immortal. This is fairly okay. It increases your crit and your crit damage in your attack, and then when you get multiple copies, it will allow you to do even more damage on those crits. And that means you can deal an incredible amount of burst damage on a hero. People like to use this on sword flashes when they're trying to do Vanquisher clears and such things, and for that reason, it's a solid artifact. You could go ahead and upgrade an Antler's Cane. This gives attack, precision, and skill damage, but the big thing about it is when it's upgraded, it gives you all damage dealt bonuses after each round, which do not disappear. So as the rounds go on, you deal more and more and more and more damage, and this is great in fights that go to round 15 or beyond, because it allows you to deal a lot of damage, and you can get that just at Glittery. However, this does require you to get copies of either Punisher of Immortal and Antler's Cane, and a lot of people might not feel comfortable doing that, mainly because of Demon Bell. And Demon Bell is the single most important artifact in the game, and people often don't realize why. And it simply comes down to this ability it has called Energy Outburst. When the hero releases an active skill that has this artifact equipped, they have a 100% chance to give everybody else on your team 20 energy, and then a 50% chance to increase an extra energy boost by 10. So there's a chance that they can give 20 or 30 energy, and that is fantastic. And they will do an active skill in round 1, because they get plus 50 energy from the artifact on its own. So that means when you do an active skill with Demon Bell, you're boosting everybody up. And at first you might think, but 20, maybe 30 energy, that's not a lot. However, if you have multiple heroes with Demon Bell on, you start feeding multiple amounts of energy. Let's say the fastest 2 heroes on your team have splendid artifacts. One gives 30 energy to everyone else in the team, the other gives 20, and suddenly everyone's just got 50 energy. If you're familiar with game mechanics, you'll know that you start the fight with 50 energy, and that means all the other 4 heroes on your team will all do an active skill in round 1. And that means they can use whatever other artifact they want. So you can have an Eloise with a Golden Crown who does an active skill in round 1. You can have a Sword Flash with a Punisher of Immortal or any other damage dealing artifact who does an active skill in round 1. This particular playstyle is fantastic and allows teams to deal an awful lot of damage. Also, as the rounds go on, those heroes, whenever they do active skills, will still continue to feed energy to the team. Combine that with the energy you receive from taking damage, and you will just naturally do more active skills than normal. And those additional active skills increases your damage potential and makes your team much more successful in so many game modes. Most importantly, the Void. Now, pushing ahead in the Void is a difficult task for anybody. But when you get 8 Demon Bells, and you have 2 Splendids, you're on for a winner. In fact, some people don't even want to go with Splendids. Some people prefer to build 2 Radiants and a Glittery. So putting 3 together, then 2, rather than doing 4 and 4. That is because a Radiant Demon Bell still gives you that 20 boost. But then the other Radiant gives you a 20 boost as well, and the glittery gives 10 with a chance of giving another 10, and because of that you can guarantee that you get the 50 boost. And that's nice. It's very nice, in fact, and it means that your team is able to get more active skills, as I said earlier on. And herein lies the problem that a lot of free-to-play and budget players have whenever they get access to an artifact. If you go ahead and choose an artifact that isn't a Demon Bell, you are instantly slowing down the time it takes for you to get 8 copies of Demon Bell. And I can't stress to you just how important it is to have energy feed on your team. If you don't have energy feed, honestly, you probably don't even need Sword Flash, because all the things that Sword Flash can do with energy feed, well, the things she can't do without it are things other heroes can achieve. In fact, that Golden Crown Eloise can do everything you could do without energy feed and a Sword Flash. If you use a Void 4 Eloise as your homeowner, giving her great tenants such as Tix and Ithaca, all from the Shadow faction, all helping you in the Shadow Seal land, you have a fantastic team. In fact, I've made a video talking about that very strategy in the past. I'll link it up there in the corner. By using that strategy of building an Eloise, you no longer rely on energy feed. And that means you can take your time collecting your Demon Bells, and then eventually when you have 8 Demon Bells, go ahead and grab a Sword Flash. And it is also for that reason that people have started to say maybe Sword Flash isn't the best first Transcendence hero, because she's incredible if you have the 8 Demon Bells. And a lot of people don't have the 8 Demon Bells, and that's the problem. Without the 8 Demon Bells, you cannot make the energy feed happen. But it is so important to have 8 Demon Bells so that you can make it happen. But obviously, without it, Sword Flash is useless, and it might actually be better to have a Halora to then pair with the Eloise, so that Eloise is getting even more out of herself until you have those 8 Demon Bells. And if you're a free-to-play player, it's probably going to take you just as long to get 2 Transcendence heroes as it is to collect 8 copies of Demon Bell. And that's fine. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe you get really lucky and you find that actually you are getting a ton of Demon Bells. At that point, choose Sword Flash as your first Transcendence hero. But potentially there's an option of getting that Golden Crown and then collecting Demon Bells and taking on the grind and going Halora first. Now, what I haven't mentioned is also the fact that you do get other artifacts for free, and they also offer benefits. So what other artifacts are worth going for? Well, there's the Kiss of Ghost. If you pick this up for free, which sometimes happens, it offers 25% attack, 14% HP, and a decent amount of armor break. In fact, 100% armor break, which is great. That allows heroes like Tix to do really nicely in the Aspen Dungeon. It allows other heroes to get a little bit of burst, which they otherwise wouldn't have. Is it worth spending and picking up? Nope. But if you happen to get one for free, brilliant. Also, the 25% attack component plus the HP makes it a really good artifact to put on your tenants. I like this. Candy Bar, another great attack bonus and HP bonus artifact that works brilliantly on tenants. Also, the stun immunity can be used against annoying opponents that want to stun you, such as the Void Arc boss, so it does have a little bit of a use. Is it worth spending your money or relics or chests on? No. Get it if it's free, otherwise leave it. Wildfire Torch, another artifact that I have to say honestly, it's not worth spending your money on. It is not worth picking up with relics. This artifact is really bad. If you get it from a bond chest, good for you. If you get it for free, good for you. Pick it up if it's available for free, mainly so that you can swap it for a different artifact, but generally, it's not that good. The big artifacts for me that I haven't really mentioned yet are Augustus Magic Ball, because this offers really cool defensive stats that scale with your attack, meaning you have low HP but good defense. It's a very interesting way to build a hero. There's the Magic Stone Sword. This offers great protection, which means you can't take a load of damage in one go. Works really nice on late game heroes, such as a late game Sherlock or a late game Vesa. There's no need to rush to pick these up, grab them when they're available for free, or maybe if you're a really heavy spender and you've got nothing else to go for, Magic Stone Sword might be worth considering. Generally, it's not necessary on an account though. There's things like Punisher of Immortal, fantastic damage dealing artifact I've mentioned, the same with Antler's Cane, I mentioned those two earlier. If they're available for free, brilliant. Maybe go out your way to pick them up, but I wouldn't go chasing them until you've established your Demon Bells. And then there's these ones on the bottom row I haven't mentioned. We've got Ruyi Scepter. This is an artifact that increases your chance of CCing opponents. This is only really worth picking up once you have your energy feed established, and I'm talking like 12 Demon Bells at that point, and it's used on a Jara to allow her to help you to clear Vanquisher. Now this may change with updates coming out in the future. There may be other solutions to Vanquisher when we can make our heroes stronger. So watch this space, but generally the use of a Receptor is with a strong CC hero such as a Jara, maybe even an Aspen in PvP, but generally it's used to allow you to have a much better chance of CCing opponents, which is a late game thing to do when it comes to how you deal with game modes. We have the Snow Heart. This is an artifact that if it's equipped to a hero will slow down your opponents. Very useful in certain game modes such as Seal Land, but generally it's a very late game thing that you don't really need to pick up, and in fact a lot of accounts do not need this artifact. It is very, very irritating if it's used well, but generally that's for PvP, and it's more of something that min-maxers want to go for, or super duper heavy spenders. If you're a free-to-play or budget player, you do not need Snowheart to succeed. And then finally there's Melodic Strings, the newest artifact that we have, a brilliant damage dealing artifact. I have to say, I like this artifact, and maybe I like it a little too much. Some people have said it's overrated, but I like that it gives attack. I like that it gives holy damage, and I like that it gives energy. It's all good stuff. And then of course it increases your all damage dealt, similar to how Crown increases your all damage reduction, which means at the start of rounds you're dealing a lot of damage and eventually that diminishes. In game modes where I want to burst and I know I'm going to die quickly, I really like Melodic Strings, PvP being one of the modes I think it can be very fun in, but in fact I have used it with success in Seal Land clears. I did Seal Land 25 with a Halora equipped with a Melodic Strings. Was it the best decision? Well, for my account at the time, it was kind of cool. I could have used an AMB, but I didn't. I had a lot of fun with the Melodic Strings. So it's a potentially interesting artifact that does a lot of damage, and it potentially, you could argue, rivals Punisher and Antler's Cane as a damage dealing artifact. And with new updates coming out in the future that already will improve the damage and power of our heroes, you might find that you don't need Punisher of Immortal or Antler's Cane, and Melodic Strings is more than enough. Of course, Antler's Cane is better in the long term because as fights go on, your damage is improved, and as fights go on, Melodic Strings' damage is decreased by 10% until you finally only get a bonus of 20%. So it has a shortfall, but it is still a good artifact. Overall though, as I said right at the start, the most important artifact for you to get your hands on is a single crown to use on your LOEs, and then after that collect everything you can to get those demon bells. And hopefully that's explained artifacts for you. I'm not putting them into a tier list because ranking artifacts is a pointless exercise, because it is all down to the heroes that you have and how you want to utilize these artifacts and what game modes you're going for. It is goal-orientated progress. That's the thing I want to stress to you guys. That's the new thing that I'm going to be talking about on the channel all the time. Focusing your decisions to your goals. And for everybody, energy feed should be a huge goal for you that you want to achieve on your account, and that is why once you've got that one golden crown that you can use to help your team move forwards, then you need to focus your attentions to getting Demon Bell. Whenever you are given a choice to pick up an artifact, you are gonna have to struggle to justify why it shouldn't be a Demon Bell. Hopefully you found this video informative. Hopefully you're convinced as to why Demon Bell is good. And do be sure that if you are using it, that you make the heroes that are energy feeding your team the fastest ones you have. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Any more questions, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. And of course, happy idling.